Boy, is silence uncomfortable. And it's no wonder. In our culture, we have been conditioned to believe that silence is undesirable. Think about it. We show praise by clapping and cheering and by making noise, not by being silent. We have been taught that silence is punishment. Think about it when you were young and you were told to go to your room and think about what you've done wrong. Silence is a form of revenge or a way to show that we're angry. La, 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 I can't hear you. It's the infamous silent treatment. And then when we get on an elevator, we hope to God that there's some kind of music playing in the background or there's a conversation taking place. Otherwise, in the silence, we feel awkward and uncomfortable. When we're in a group of people, we feel that when we're shy or quiet, we may be perceived, and sometimes you are, perceived as angry, upset, sad, rude, or even weird. People may ask you, what's wrong? I actually Googled how to be more, and what auto-populated was confident, outgoing, and social. I even specifically Googled how to be more shy, and what came back in the results was how to be less shy. And then finally, what's the worst punishment of all when you're in jail? It's solitary confinement or silence. Given all of this, it's not our fault that we feel abnormal or strange sitting in complete silence. And most do feel abnormal. And if you don't, you've been made to feel that you should. So what do we do when we encounter this uncomfortable feeling? Well, of course, we find ways to avoid it. And it's easier than ever with this little device that we carry with us at all times. All around us, we have these different distractions. And we've evolved from creatures that get up and look at the world in the eye and see and take in everything around us to, again, creatures that are buried in the screens of our cell phones and our computers. We have distractions at every single moment tempting us, from Facebook to Twitter to YouTube and everything that we named before. And we're checking in on our virtual friends and their virtual moments, and it's stealing time from the friends that are sitting right in front of you. And unfortunately, all of these distractions are keeping us from accomplishing a greater significance in our lives. The thing is, we have to find a way to embrace these technologies, but then also take a step back. And you can do that by embracing the silence. Again, so uncomfortable, isn't it? I, for the longest time, was escaping every moment of silence that I encountered. And even if you enjoy silence, you don't get very many opportunities to enjoy it because you're going to feel a lot of pressure to fill up all of those seconds with things. And in high school and all through college, I did just that. I was so stressed out by these pressures that I found myself, oh, here's the bell. I got to go to class. Oh, and here's lunch. Let's eat it real fast. Oh, there's the next bell. Got to go to class. And now I'm going to my campus meetings, and now I'm going to my sports. And hold on, by the way, I have 2 or 3 jobs that I'm working to pay my bills. Oh, and then by the way, now I'm rushing home because I'm going to study till 2 or 3 in the morning for my exam that I have the next day. And oh my God, I'm so exhausted. I fell into bed. But I still didn't fall asleep to the silence of my bedroom, no. I got out my cell phone to jump on Facebook to see what my friends had eaten for dinner that night, and then proceeded to watch 2 hours of fat cats trying to fit themselves into small boxes. Have you ever seen those cat videos? They're freaking addicting. And like I said before, I escaped every moment of silence I could with any distraction that I could find. And I know I'm not alone. I actually recently read about this virtual reality called Second Life. Who's heard of it? Anybody? Well, if you haven't heard of it, it's essentially this online game where you can go on and create the life that you've always wanted at the click of the mouse. So we can't blame people for wanting to escape their own realities every single day. And for the longest time, I did just that. I escaped every single moment that I could. And one day, I was sitting in the library. I was at Sycamore High School. And I remember, technology isn't all bad. I'm not saying that at all. We've done some amazing things with technology today. You've been tweeting your questions. Look at this stage. This wouldn't be made possible without technology. And I had jumped on Facebook recently, and I found this picture of Marilyn Monroe, and there's this guy who had added color to all of these historical photos. And similarly, technology can add immense color to our lives, but first we have to learn how to use it the right way. And back to that moment when I was in high school, in the library, in study hall, I used technology in the right way because I was sitting there at the computer, and instead of jumping on social media, which was usually my habit, I decided I wanted to learn something new. So I went to Wikipedia. I started clicking on the random generating article, and I came across this poet by the name of Horace. He wrote a story about a fool who waited for a stream to stop flowing before crossing it. And he waited, and he waited, and he waited. And the stream never stopped flowing, so he never reached his goal. The moral of this story is that he who begins is half done. Dare to be wise, make a beginning. And these words suggest the value of human endeavor and of persistence in reaching a goal. For the longest time, I thought I had bad luck. My family struggled with being poor, so paying for college was absolutely impossible. And I sat there thinking one night when I came home and I laid in bed, I thought back to that moment when I was in the library, and I told myself, how am I going to change my future? And I realized I didn't want to be like that fool who waited for the stream to stop flowing before crossing it. I wanted to make things happen. I didn't want to wait for them. And so I figured out how I was going to change my future by considering, what does my beginning look like? This was the first time in my life that I realized the power of silence. Yes, technology allowed me to find that article and to learn about something that I may not have otherwise, but it wasn't until I thought about it, till I embraced the silence and thought about how I was going to change my future and what that article actually meant to me. As Mike had mentioned before, my life's motto is that when we take on opportunities and we prepare for them, we can create our own good luck. And so I did just that. When I was faced with an opportunity, I took it. And that was my beginning. I was able to take on bigger and better opportunities by taking on the smaller ones first. I have been so honored to be able to travel around the world and study abroad. I've learned from amazing professors, but it wasn't until I took the moments along the way to determine how I can take action with that newfound knowledge that I really was able to make a difference. And you may ask yourself, how do I know if I'm on the right path with each of these opportunities? It's with the silence. When I stopped to think about what I was doing and if I enjoyed it, I knew if I was on the right track because I felt happy and good. Or I knew if I needed to make a change because I felt depressed or anxious or uncertain. It was in these moments that I was able to define who I am and who I wanted to become. And you are able to do the same things. You can be a leader or continue to be a leader. You can accomplish your goals. But first, you must define what your goals even are and what it is that you actually believe in so you can stand for it. As I said before, I was so worried that I wasn't going to get a scholarship or go to college, but it was with my careful planning. It was with the goals that I set for myself. It was defining who it is that I want to be that I actually got a full ride academic scholarship to UC and even got paid to go to school. And now I have a job that I absolutely love today, and none of that would have been possible without the people around me, but also considering it what it is in my life that I wanted. You will have pressure probably every single day to get involved as much as possible, to get a job, to get good grades, to do whatever it is that you can to fill up your time. And yes, these things are important. I'm not going to deny that. But just as important that not a lot of people seem to talk about is taking the moments along the way to think. Now, you may not know where you want to go with your life, or maybe you do and you're afraid to pursue it. Maybe you're already pursuing your passion, and great. Continue to think about how you can be the best at what you do. Now, keep in mind that silence is meant to be purposeful. It's not about zoning out or daydreaming about your crush, though it can be fun. Think about what you want. What do you enjoy? What are you passionate about? What do you want to learn? What makes you want to be alive? What keeps your heart beating? You can make your own beginning. All you have to do is embrace the silence, think about what you want and how you're going to get there, and then, of course, look up. Thank you.